فينا بك نحيا وبك نموت وإليك النشور. أصبحنا وأصبح الملك لله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر. اللهم إنا أصبحنا منك في نعمة وعافية وستر. اللهم أتمم علينا نعمتك وعافيتك وسترك يا رب العالمين. These are some of the sayings that the Prophet ﷺ would utter when it's morning time. But I love the idea of where the Prophet ﷺ, he said that, Ya Allah, this morning we wake up and we are in the midst of ni'mah, blessings from you. وَسِتْر. Sitr is the concept of covering or concealment. Because each and every one of us, we have our own demons that we are fighting. We have our own weaknesses that we may be going through. Poor choices that we make when people are not looking, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has been gracious that we have not been exposed. So the Prophet ﷺ would say, Ya Allah, continue to bless us, and Ya Allah, continue to conceal our faults and mistakes, Ya Rabbil Alameen. You've got to repeat this dua, that we be in the state of sitr. Because being exposed, may Allah save us all, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Being exposed is disgraceful. All you have to do is just look at the people searching their name and their association with Epstein nowadays. You know, this incident teaches a lot. Let me just, inshallah, mention 3 quick points. Number 1, what is the importance of the company that you keep? Who do you associate with? Who are your friends? Because it turns out that some of our friends are not good, not in this life, not in the hereafter. Sayyidina Ali ibn Abi Talib used to say, عليكم بالأخلاء فإنهم عون في الدنيا والآخرة. Ali ibn Abi Talib would say, be selective in who you befriend. They will be help for you in this life as well as in the hereafter. So people said, في الدنيا علمنا كيف في الآخرة. He said, in this life we see how our friends may be of help to us, but how are they going to be of help to us in the hereafter? Sayyidina Ali ibn Abi Talib said, have you not heard what Allah said? وَالْأَخِلَّاءُ يَوْمَئِذٍ بَعْضُهُمْ لِبَعْضٍ عَدُوٌّ إِلَّا. He said that friends, إِلَّا الْمُتَّقِينَ, friends shall be the enemies of one another. It's not just any friends, intimate, close friends, al-akhilla. They shall be the enemies of one another in the hereafter, except for the righteous ones. Their brotherhood, their friendship continues to help, continues to be, even in the here, even in the hereafter. May Allah grant us such friends. And may Allah make us such kind of friends, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Young people who are here, and old people as well, part of self-respect is who do you keep as a company? Who are the people that you associate with? You know, nowadays, a lot of the people that we used to admire, man, I used to like this guy. He's been in Epstein Island. Oh my God, what a disappointment. I really like this. Oh my, they've been to Epstein. I cannot believe this. They've got emails and they said what? La ilaha illallah. Says in the hadith, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you know, مثل الجليس الصالح والجليس السوء. The company of good people and the company of bad, evil people. What is it like, Prophet of Allah? He said the company of good people, كحامل المسك, the one who sells perfume. You know, you go there. We all do this at the mall, or at least I'm willing to confess I do this at the mall. You go to the perfume section, and you know you're not going to buy, but hey man, it's free and it smells good. And that is part of the marketing. And that is, we want you to try it. He said, when you are in the company of a person who sells perfume, by virtue of being there, you're only exposed to good smell. By virtue of being there, perhaps you get a free sample, which in turn makes you smell good. Maybe you like something and you end up buying part of this beautiful perfume. So now you smell good for a long time. It is a win-win situation. By virtue of being there, you smell good. You may get a free sample. You may end up buying, and that is money well spent. You know, in the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ would spend money. Prophet ﷺ was not somebody that was extravagant, but when it comes to perfume, the Prophet ﷺ would pay. Because one of the nicest compliments we can hear is, you smell good, brother. That's a nice compliment. But then he said, وَمَثَلُ الْجَلِيسِ السُّوءِ. And the example of bad company, كَنَافِخِ الْكِيرِ, is somebody who walks into the shop of a blacksmith doing welding. Remember, the Prophet ﷺ is not critical of that job. Very honorable job. He said, you go there, by virtue of what's going on, the place does not smell good. Because, you know, just doing the welding and the metal, there is potential bad smell. Sparks are all over the place. And the closer you get, you may end up being burned by the sparks. So what do? That big sign that says employees only, do not come in. Why do they do this? So that you're not exposed to the bad smell, so that you're not potentially burned by these sparks. The company that we keep is important, ya ikhwan, and our sisters as well. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam يقول لا يدخل بيتك إلا مؤمن ولا يأكل طعامك إلا تقي. Only invite believers to your home, and to your food, make sure that it is in the company of the righteous. The company that we keep is important. That is what this lesson says. Everybody is now trying to distance themselves. Oh, it wasn't that long. Everybody's making excuses. If some people around us are not the right company, we do not need to be around them. Be selective as to who you befriend. Because many times our association with them on its own is actually a mistake. Second, this beauty of sitr. Beauty of sitr. You know, all the faults that we have, may Allah not expose us, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Wallahi, may Allah not expose us. May Allah not expose me. Kind of things that I do when people are not looking, the kind of thoughts that I harbor, the kind of feelings that I have, the things that I lust after. May Allah save us, and may Allah conceal our faults, Ya Rabbil Alameen. And that is why we are taught. In the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ says, Man satara musliman, satarahu Allahu yawm al-qiyamah. Whosoever conceals the faults of a believer, Allah shall conceal their faults in the hereafter. Remember, conceal their faults, not their criminal behavior. Criminal behavior is not to be concealed. Criminal behavior is to be revealed, especially when it involves the violation of minors. You know, as imams, as counselors, we are mandated reporters. We must report child abuse, elder abuse, and these things. No play, man. Wallahi, it comes to my knowledge, wallahi, you are reported. Not that I wish you ill, but we have a duty to protect those who are most vulnerable. Young children. So in any case, we all have these mistakes. So the Prophet ﷺ would say, Man satara musliman, satarahu Allahu yawm al-qiyamah. I somehow became aware of your faults. You became aware of my faults. Yeah. And he comes to the masjid, huh? He comes to the masjid. You should have seen where I saw him last night. You should have seen what I saw last night. Man, some people in this masjid are such a disappointment. And we come and we speak and we reveal what Allah has chosen to conceal of the faults of that individual. See, when you expose my faults like this is what we call social assassination. I am done. I am done. Any one of us here would be done. He was caught doing this. Poor brother, that was such a poor choice. That was such a bad decision, akhi. You've got to stop this. I can talk to my brother, but not expose my brother. Because once people are socially assassinated, we say, well, you know what? Screw it, I'm done anyways. And then in the hadith, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, وَمَنْ تَتَبَّعَ عَوْرَةَ مُؤْمِنٍ تَتَبَّعَ اللَّهُ عَوْرَتَهُ وَمَنْ تَتَبَّعَ اللَّهُ عَوْرَتَهُ فَضَحَهُ. And whosoever seeks to find the faults of believers with the intent of exposing them, Allah will follow his or her faults and Allah will expose them. And when Allah exposes them, Allah will disgrace them. May Allah save us. May Allah save us, Ya Rabbil Alameen. So what do? I want Allah to conceal my faults. Remember, we're not talking about criminal behavior. I want Allah to conceal my faults. Many of us, because we're weak, we do things that are unbecoming, things that are not Islamic, things that Allah does not like. May Allah help us overcome them. Because we understand that none of us here is perfect. We are all struggling to become better people. And may Allah ease this struggle for us. But see, as I am struggling, you come along and you see me and you expose me, you just socially assassinated me, demoralized me, deflated me, made it very difficult to be in the company of good people, and as such, chances are my recovery is going to be very difficult. So we say, when you become aware of somebody's weaknesses, man, do not expose them. Help them. And that's why they say, as believers, the only time we are allowed to look down at a man is if we're trying to help them get up. That is the only time you look down at a person, is when you are trying to help them get up. 20 of the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there were those who were caught drunk. There were those who were caught fornicating. There were those who were caught flirting. There were those who were caught doing a lot of things. How did the Prophet ﷺ deal with them? Prophet ﷺ did not immediately cancel them, did not immediately devalue them, abandon them, shun them. A man is brought to the masjid, a young man is brought to the masjid, and what's going on is he is being caught several times drunk. Our brothers and sisters who are struggling with alcohol, may Allah make it easy for them. Wallahi, may Allah make it easy for them. Alcohol addiction is one of the most difficult addictions to overcome. So the young man is caught and he is brought to the masjid of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And as he is being paraded, people are kicking him, somebody is hitting them on the back of their head, and somebody decided that they have had it with this young man. So he said, La'natullahi alayhi, ma akthar ma yashrab al-khamr. May the curse of Allah be upon him. How many times has he gotten caught drinking? Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam gets angry. Not at the young man who is drunk, but at the person who sounded religious. May the curse of Allah be upon him. How often has he been caught drinking? He said, La tal'an, do not curse this young man. فَإِنَّهُ يُحِبُّ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ. For he truly loves Allah and His Messenger. Of course, the first question that is going to jump is, if he loves Allah and His Messenger, why is he drinking? How can you love Allah and His Messenger and you drink? Ask the same question to yourself. How do I claim to love Allah and His Messenger, but then you fill in the blank? People have, when scholars speak of this hadith, they say, I wish I was this young man. Not for the drinking part. For what part? The confirmation of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. فَإِنَّهُ, surely this man loves Allah and His Messenger. I claim to love Allah and His Messenger. You claim to love Allah and His Messenger, but we don't have Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to verify we truly love Allah and His Messenger. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam spoke and he said, this young man loves Allah and His Messenger. No, many times people may not appear to be as religious. They may not appear to be as committed. We may look at them, and Abdul Fattah Moro, inshallah, I say this and we conclude. Sheikh Abdul Fattah Moro from Tunisia, he said, when I was very young, I was part of the Tablighi group, beautiful brothers. He said, and as a young man, I was tasked to go and bring people to pray Dhuhr with us at the masjid. He said, I went downtown and I'm just begging people, come and pray Dhuhr. Come and pray Dhuhr. Please, people would just push me away. And he said, it was hot and I was very tired, just trying to come back with one person to pray Dhuhr with us. He said, finally somebody agreed. And I was so excited, took him to the masjid and said that, got to the masjid, it turned out that the brother was drunk. But I was so exhausted, I did not notice, and the smell was deafening. The smell was really bad. And he said, the Imam looked at me and he was very angry. We send you to the market to bring somebody, and what do you bring? You bring a drunk. And the smell was so foul that when people prayed, they stayed away from him. And salah is done, the drunk is still in sujood. People look at me and say, we just salamed out of salah, you see? And he's still there. And people are very angry with me. So we go to kick him out of the masjid, and it turned out that the drunk died while in the state of sujood. The man died when he was in the state of sujood. Now leave the part that he was drunk and all these things. But think about how Allah chose for him what we would all agree it was an honorable way to die. Allah knows something about this man. We don't know. But Allah chose him to die in such a way. So what do? Say, man, take it easy. We do not expose people. When we become aware of people's weaknesses, we don't look down upon them. We become aware of our own weaknesses. We become of our own weaknesses. And subhanAllah, the more we are aware of our own weaknesses, wallahi, the kinder we become. The gentler we become. The more compassionate we become. Man, wallahi, I understand. Because I know I have my own weaknesses. So when I see this young brother, this young sister struggling, and it's not time to look down upon them. Sheikh al-Ghazali, Muhammad al-Ghazali, عليه rahmatullah, tells a story. He said he knew a person who was struggling with alcohol. He said, and that was always the case. Every time he would come to the Sheikh, he would speak about his struggle with alcohol. And he said one day, this young man who was struggling with alcohol came to me, and he said, because we're so used to him, I said, أخبار الخمرة معك إيه؟ سبتها ولا لسه? How are you doing with alcohol? Have you abandoned it? Have you abandoned alcohol or is it still there? And he said, the man looked at me and he said he started crying. And he said, Ya Sheikh, ادعي ربنا يغفر لي. He said, Sheikh, please ask Allah to forgive me. And the Sheikh said, that man said it with so much sincerity. He said, I invited him and I said, تعال يا ابني اقعد جنبي. He said, young man, come and sit next to me. كلنا سكرانين. He said, seems like we are all drunk. What he meant is, كلنا غفلانين. We are all heedless. Maybe for you it's alcohol. Maybe for me it's something else. But we all need to ask Allah to forgive us. May Allah grant us good company. May Allah make us good company. May Allah grant our children good company. May Allah make our children good company. May Allah conceal our faults. May Allah forgive our faults. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us. May Allah extend in our lives to witness the blessings of the month of Ramadan. Ya Rabbal Alamin. هذا والله أعلم وصلى الله عليه.
أكرمك الله وبارك الله فيك وجزاك الله خيرا.
حياك الله.